Hey guys, this is Zoner here, coming at you with another video. Today we're going to talk about the brand new Clash Royale update. Now, it's a very small update the game has received here, but it's very important nonetheless. There's been some card balance changes. Now, the Prince health has been decreased by 4%, the Goblin Barrel Goblin level has been decreased by 1, the Witch's Skeleton level has also been decreased by 1, the Mortar lifetime has been decreased by 40 seconds, and a few other things they've added and changed. The XP required to get from level 8 to 9 has been increased by 25%, and one new replay is being published to the TV Royale every hour. And as well as a small few bug fixes that have been put into the game. So we're going to go ahead and go through a few different replays and talk about each one more in depth and talk about what it means for the game. So we'll go ahead and get started with that. Alright, so I just want to go ahead and say big shout out to the Clash Royale development team for doing something that we have all wanted for so long with the other Supercell games. And what I'm talking about is in the past for like Clash of Clans, you would see an update that said significantly increased X or slightly reduced Y, or a pinch of salt here on the X troop HP levels. Like, you would never get a straight answer on what they did to balance the game. You get like this random, very vague sort of word to explain what they did, and it's just, I mean, it was so annoying because you actually have to go and look at the game yourself, and you have to do the math to figure out what exactly was changed. But we don't actually have to do that now. They were just right up front with it. I mean, health decreased by 4% on the Prince, Goblin level decreased by 1, Skeleton level decreased by 1, lifetime decreased to 40 seconds. XP required to get from level 8 to 9 increased by 25%. These are hard numbers, and this is what I've been asking for, and I'm sure the rest of I know the Reddit community, for one, has complained about this for the longest time, and I am right there with them. That is just one of the most annoying things a developer can do for a game. I mean, it's happening for all sorts of games out there right now, and I just, big shout out to the Clash Royale development team. Thank you so much for that. Honestly, that's a bold move as a developer, because I think sometimes they kind of try to fudge the numbers in there so people can complain like, oh, well, 25% was too much, or, too little. But see, they've just, I mean, they believe in their work here, and they've made a change, and they're just putting it out there, and I definitely admire that. Okay, so let's start with the Prince. I like to talk about the Prince. I like to complain about him a lot. I like to talk about him a lot. I just like, the Prince is a very interesting troop. He's very controversial in my opinion, because of the fact that he is so powerful. In fact, as soon as I started this game, that was one of the first troops that I noticed right out of the gate, was just overpowered. I mean, so OP. And the reason for that is because you could place a Prince almost uncontested, and I say almost uncontested because even with a little bit of a defense being put up against him, if it's something like goblins or archers or some small troops, he'll rip right through them. And still, one Prince can take an entire tower by himself, man. And that is just the craziest thing. That does not seem in any way balanced to me. Of course, this game is about trades. You want to be using your elixir to make, good trades to attack and defend while you're playing this. And it's so hard to have a good trade against a Prince. It seems like you have to have such an elixir sink to defend against him. Now, see, that's what I thought until I unlocked the what is it called? I think it's called the Tombstone card. That's the one that spawns in the skeletons, and whenever it is broken, it spawns in 6. Now that is easily the best defense against the Prince, because you place it, the Prince will explode it, it'll get distracted by the 6 skeletons. While that's happening, the 6 skeletons will hit the Prince, as well as your tower shooting at the Prince, and you'll get a free Prince kill for, what is it? 60% of the cost of the Prince. So that's a very good defense there. Same thing with the skeleton army. It's 80% the cost, and it deals with the Prince very, very effectively. But other than that, if you don't have either of those cards, the Prince is a very tough thing to defend against efficiently. And I'm very glad that they decreased the hit the hit points by 4% here. What does that mean though? When you place a Prince down, at my level, at level 5, which is what I'm assuming is where it's kind of like the average I think at right now. I might be talking under my butt, but I feel like a lot of people are at level 5 at this point. If you've just been playing the game a little bit and collecting all your cards as you go along and upgrading everything as you go and donating a decent amount, you'll be level 5 at this point. Even some of my friends that played the very, very least amount that you could play this game are already at level 5. So you've been playing this game since day 1, you're probably around level 5 at the moment. Now, what this means though for you If you are at level 5 like myself and have a level 1 prince, a completely uncontested prince at level 5 will still be able to take the tower on by themselves, but they will die as soon as they break that tower. I mean, it is a perfect trade right now. Level 1 prince for a level 5 crown tower. So the thing about that is, though, the thing to focus on is the fact that it's a perfect trade. I mean, it literally is an absolute perfect trade. It will die as soon as that tower is gone. That means if you place anything, I mean absolutely anything in the way of that prince, it will not be able to completely destroy a full health tower. So that is a huge improvement upon what it used to be able to do. So moving right along, the next thing that was nerfed a bit was the Goblin Barrel. The Goblin Barrel, I have to say, has made me lose so many times, as I assume with so many of you. The only thing I found that can defend against it effectively is the skeleton army. If you surround your own tower with a skeleton army before they throw it, you'll be able to kill the 3 goblins, but I don't think that's an efficient trade, because if my memory serves correctly, the Goblin Barrel does cost 3 elixir. I could be wrong, but if it does cost 3 elixir and your skeleton army costs 4, you are basically going to still lose some hit points on your tower potentially, and spend more elixir trying to defend against them, and lose quite a few skeletons in the process. So I'm very glad that they decreased the level on the goblins being fired out of that, because that was just too much, honestly. So continuing on down the line, the witch's skeleton levels being produced. Now, I didn't really think the witch was too overpowered, but I have been using it since I first unlocked it in day 1 of this game, and I have to say it's been very successful in helping me win battles. So maybe it is a bit overpowered to have such a high level skeleton right out of the gates. Of course, with decreased hit points, all that really means for you is that you're going to have less of an easy time using your skeletons to tank for you as you're, taking out giants, or, even just tanking as you move against the enemy crown towers. So it is a slight improvement to the balance, I do feel, because the witch themselves are very, very powerful. Now, I cannot actually speak for the 40-second timer on the mortars, because I don't have a mortar unlocked yet, as is the same for the level 8 to 9 XP increase. So that about does it for this video, but be sure to leave me your thoughts in the comments. I will definitely reply to each and every one, and I am very interested in hearing your opinions. Do you agree with the changes? Do you disagree with the changes? Let me know below. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, leave me a thumbs up, and if you want to see more Clash Royale coverage, subscribe. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.